This is television for the Isles of Scilly, brought to you with Worldwide Financial Planning, Truro and Penwith College, and the Scilly Lottery. From Radio Scilly, this is scillytv.com.
So we're here at the launch of Defending Scilly, another publication by the English Heritage, and I'm with Andrew Vines now. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm fine. It's great to be here, and we're really glad that we can produce this book and launch it on Scilly today.
What's your involvement with English Heritage?
My work is the planning director for the South West, so we get involved in a lot of the advice work and also some grant aid, but particularly advice on works to schedule monuments, listed buildings, historic parks and gardens and other heritage assets.
So with this book, was there a lot of planning involved before you decided, let's do this?
There was quite a lot. I mean, I think what we have to do with these books is identify a subject where there is a gap in knowledge and understanding, and the idea of the book is to try and help fill the gap, and that sometimes leads to issues of designation, although I don't think so in this case, but it also leads to better ways of dealing and managing the historic environment. And of course in this case there's a particular issue about coastal erosion and some of the Scilly defences.
Over the course of actually putting this book to the press and releasing it and getting it published, is there a massive change in some of the research that's been done with the erosion?
Well, I don't think so. I think what has changed is that we have become much more conscious of climate change and what it's doing to some coastal historic assets. And it is helping to inform our thinking about what you do. I mean, it doesn't only apply to Scilly, but it applies particularly here, but in other parts of the country as well. We have to decide where the force of the sea is undermining the coast, where there are assets close to the coast or on the beach. Do you keep them or do you not? It's as simple as that, and how much effort do you put into conserving something where, there's an inexorable process of erosion, if you like.
I suppose one place, in classic example, would be the Jurassic Coast.
Yeah, it is, absolutely. And I think the issue is really that anywhere else there's a presumption about retaining historic assets, because once we lose them, they're no longer there, they're irreplaceable. But of course, where that's on the coast, and how far do you go? So it's not a simple answer, if you like.
But here, especially on Scilly, obviously it is steeped in heritage, as we know. Has it been fun finding out different facts about it all as well?
Yeah, of course. English Heritage professionally, it's a bit more than fun. It's our job and our role to inform and help people. I mean, I suppose the measure of that is that other people find it fun or interesting or informative. What we try and do is make sure that if people understand the history of a place, they're much more likely to value it. If they're more likely to value it, then they're more likely to care for it. So it goes on. So they're going to be more interested in it.
Basically, information is knowledge, which revokes naivety, if you like. So there's a better understanding, like you say.
Absolutely, and so people are much more likely to appreciate something if they understand it better.
Are you glad the book's published now?
Yeah, I think it's great. It's really good. It's fantastic to be here to do the publishing, and it's selling really well apparently. So we've shifted quite a few even today.
Yes, I am a publishing project manager for English Heritage.
Okay, you were obviously involved with this book as well.
Yes, I helped. Basically, Alan and Mark handed the manuscript in to me, and then I put it all together and made it into an actual printed product. So I worked with them for about 6 months on it, putting it together.
Bit of a task?
Yeah, it was interesting. We had ups and downs, but no, it was good. All went on track actually.
When you say ups and downs, was he being fussy about what you'd put out, or did he change anything?
No, he was really good actually. There weren't that many late changes or anything like that, so it went well. Yeah.
And have you been involved with Scilly before then?
No, this is my first time to Scilly, so this is the first time I've been here and first time I actually came across the islands, and so it's been a learning curve and learnt lots about it, so it's been good.
How long are you here for?
Till Friday.
And have you enjoyed it so far?
I have, yes. Apart from the weather today, it would have been nice to have seen some sun.
Tomorrow it's forecast.
Yeah, we're hopefully going to Tresco tomorrow, so that should be really good. Yeah.
Well, so far your experience of Scilly. One last question.
Okay.
What do you love about Scilly?
the people, I think. Yes, everyone's really, really friendly. Everyone's been making us feel very welcome. And it just seems like a very friendly environment to live in. So, yeah, definitely want to come back.
Now, Alan and Mark, did you both go on this walk today?
Indeed, yes.
How was it?
Very good, actually. I think it went well. It was a little bit breezy, a little bit wet, but we got through it. Good. We had 12 people, which is about as many as you can cope with.
And what was
Didn't lose any.
what was their reaction like to some of the information that you were giving them?
I think it was interesting that even some of the local residents clearly were learning stuff that they didn't know before. So that was quite nice. It was a very good reaction, actually. They were clearly interested.
Were there many questions fired at you both?
Yes, there were. Yeah, there were plenty of questions. Some of which we could answer, in fact, which was nice. It's not always the case.
Although you've put this book together, you can't absorb everything. I suppose you must dump some stuff out of your brain at some point.
It's not that. There are some questions that can be asked that can't be answered because the documents don't survive, the physical evidence don't survive. We can speculate. We can have a reasonable amount of certainty about something. But we can't sort of definitively answer. If you ask the right question, then there may not be an answer for it. I mean, for instance, we're sitting in Star Castle, and my personal belief is there was a building on this site before the Star Castle. That's back in the 16th century. There's no documentary evidence. It's just the feeling there should have been a building here, and a very, very vague historical reference to a number of buildings of this type. And I just feel that that's the kind of question that I can ask, but may never be able to answer.
Yeah, well, that's a fair point. And when you say vague record, is this some?
Oh, it's just something that says there were 3 blockhouses, and this could be a blockhouse site, but we've got a number of other options, so it's nothing specific.
What's been, back here at the hotel now and looking at the book, what's been the overall reaction from people here?
Again, it's a bit early to have absorbed the reaction, but it's been very positive. I mean, some very kind words were said by some of the people at the launch about the appearance of the book, as well as the text of it, the quality of the photographs, which people do really seem to appreciate, and that's right because the photographs are superb. I have to say.
When you look through it and you see the aerial photography that you spoke about earlier, I mean, it is stunning, to be fair. And, you're saying there's over 1,000 images just on the aerial side of things.
No, there's not that. There's about 1,000 terrestrial photographs of military defences and a few bits of general architecture, but it's been specifically our photographer Mike, who is now retired in a villa in sunny Spain.
Because of this book.
Because of this book. He's living on the royalties, precisely 0 pence. No, he's taken about 1,000 photographs, and all credit to him. He's sat there, wind, rain and shine, trying to get the perfect shot with a nice cloud in it and that kind of thing. But Damien must have taken 100 or 200 aerial photographs of just the military defences.
I think it's near 400.
Was it?
Actually.
Oh, right. So that's a fantastic tribute to him. Brilliant photos. And, I mean, I think they're all in our digital archive now in Swindon.
Is this for public viewing as well? Is there online places people can see them?
Yes.
But
you're
you
going
don't
to ask me
know.
the
I know,
website?
that's all right. That's okay. But if people want more information, they can go to
Go to the English Heritage website, and I think it'll be available through quite a number of different sort of portals to get to it. That's the complicated thing. We have just some new things coming online. I think it's a bit more complicated. But go to the English Heritage website, and it'll be easy enough to find from there.
So now they say, the book is done. It's finished. It's published. What's next?
Well, on my front, I've written a couple of papers. I've done some research that is far too detailed to have a go in this book. So I've got an article on the life of Abraham Tovey from his time as a soldier in Spain in 1706 through to his death, and all his work here in Scilly. And I've got another article on the Tudor defences on Tresco and Scilly, including Star Castle, where we are. I'm also doing a kind of a mega report with all the research on the garrison defences, so it's going to be, a couple of 100 pages long, detailed academic, the kind of report that you couldn't publish in a book that would be accessible to the public. And Mark's doing a very similar thing archaeologically.
Yeah, I'm doing a report on the archaeological earthworks, all the military defences of all the islands. And again, that will be published as an English Heritage Research report, and that will be also available to anyone who wishes to see it on the English Heritage website.
When can we expect to see this on the shelf, so to speak?
Within the next
No
few,
pressure.
Well, thank you. Within the next few months.
Right, okay.
Yeah, my one hits the virtual bookshelf 2 or 3 months probably. It's being just desktop published at the moment.
So that could be downloadable on a Kindle, for example. Have you thought
what's a
about that
Kindle?
yet? No,
What's a Kindle?
we're going to have to talk afterwards about technology. You know.
Well, I use Kindles to light my fire with. I don't think it goes to Kindle, but I think it's gettable through this interweb thing. I believe.
It's a freely downloadable PDF.
Right, okay, there it is.
congratulations.
Right, yeah, there we go. Well, gentlemen, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your time here.